Welcome, this is Shakti, and today I prepared for you the full moon in Scorpio forecast, and responding to some question I had. The question was, why do I care about the moon in a specific sign or the sun in a specific sign as a forecast? My sun is in Sagittarius, or my sun is in Libra. So you should care about that because it's showing you and giving you more information about what general energies are entering your field, your life. And especially, for example, with the moon and going into Scorpio, if you have any planets in Scorpio, like your Sun, your Mercury, your Venus, your ascendant in Scorpio. So those principles and those planets and what they symbolize in your personality, they will be activated. So then everything I say about Moon and Scorpio really applies to you. So on one hand, my videos are teaching videos to head those celestial energies heads on coming at you in the coming months. But also I am ambitious and I love astrology. So I want to inspire you. I want to give the bug, pass the bug onto you. So I want to teach you about astrology. So these videos are also good to learn about the signs. And of course, if you have any planets in the sign I'm looking at in the months with the sun moving in the sign, the full moon, the new moon. So I hope I made this all really clear, and I take you over to my PowerPoint presentation. Please remember to leave me your comments to keep me going. At the moment I'm a little frustrated with it because out of some reason I'm getting less views, and it's a lot of work to put those videos together. So please let me know, keep me going, give me your feedback, and I see you over there. Welcome over here to my PowerPoint presentation with the full moon being in Scorpio and what that means. So in general, we can say the full moon is always a time of fullness of our emotional well-being. And with Scorpio, we just take it another notch down. So there will be a time around the full moon where we're more open to inquire into who or what inside of us is running the show. So it's a good time to get to know yourself better and in a deeper way. So I will be discussing the full moon in Scorpio May 14th, very specifically. And with that, the Scorpio archetype and personality and what it all means. And then you want to make sure you hang in there till the practical suggestions towards the end. So this is where I give you some ideas and suggestions how you can use the scorpionic energies and ride the wave and do the right things with it. My name is Shakti Carola Navran. I live on Maui, and I'm very passionate about astrology. So for me to do these forecast readings is on one hand to inspire you, but also to teach you about astrology, to learn more how you can use the perspective of astrology to make changes in your own life, to live more fully, to have better choices available. So I hope to pass on the buck of inspiration, and if you come back and listen to more than one forecast, you're gonna learn a lot about astrology and how you can use it in your personal life. I'm a published author with Jewelry and Gems for Self-Discovery, which is a book about astrology and how you can use gemstones in order to balance friction in your chart. And I developed what I call the gemstone report, a profile about your main 14 healing gems, where you can use them very specifically to balance areas in your horoscope. So all these developed because I wanted to find ways to support my clients in difficult and challenging areas in their astrology. The full moon is happening May 14th, exact at 12:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at 24 degrees Scorpio. That means if you have any planets close to that 24 degrees, that it will amplify the energies and the connections of the planet with other planets in your chart. So you could ask yourself, why lunar astrology at all? And my take on it is that by following the moon around throughout the months, in the waxing and waning phases, and be aware of where that happens, gives you a very unique connection to what's happening inside of you, your emotional activities. And that's not something we are taught to do. We are usually so identified with what's going on in our head, in our mind. We're so identified with our thoughts. And nevertheless, we are steered and directed by our emotions, and often in a very unconscious way. So this can help you. Lunar astrology can help you to become more self-conscious and awake. Also, the moon seems to be so close to us. It's the same size as the sun, looking at it from our point of perspective, from planet Earth. So it seems like that on one hand, the sun symbolizing our conscious mind, our life force energy, and the moon on the other side, our emotional perspective, that by both of them being the same size, they seem to have both a very important impact into our life. And just by watching the moon and the sun going through the cycles, does have a profound meaning for us. When I do a reading with somebody, I'm always taking a deep look at where the moon is in the chart, because the moon essentially describes your inner mood and especially your inner needs. So it's, you could say it's your heart, your soul, but it's also your emotional filter to the world. So it's your driving need underlying your actions. And with all that, it's definitely the source of joy and happiness. So if you don't do your moon, so to speak, you don't have much chance to feel centered and balanced and joyful and happy. So the full moon describes a 180 degrees relationship between the moon and the sun. So it's in opposition to the sun. It reflects back the highest amount of light. And with that, we could say it's a pinnacle of emotional maturation. So, which usually starts with a new moon, and then the moon waxes, and then it reaches that high point of the full moon. And then we want to pay attention to the sign the full moon is in, because it's about balancing between your emotional body in the sign it is in, and it's opposed where the sun is in. So it's about balancing that consciousness represented by the sun with the emotional beingness represented by the moon. So the moon is always about the inner world and the mysteries. And especially when it's a full moon, we're talking about deep mysteries with the sign of Scorpio. So then when we talk about the Scorpio archetype, we can think deep, dark, and intense. So Scorpio is the most intense sign in the zodiac, and it's a water sign, so it's all about what's happening inside, deep, hidden away from us. So Scorpio is the second water sign. First is Cancer, second Scorpio, third is Pisces. So the pictures are not in order here, I don't know why. Anyway, it represents the 8th house. and with that is associated with those deep inner workings of the psyche. So Scorpio is ruled by two planets. One is Mars, which is the traditional ruler, and the other one is Pluto. And Pluto, we look at the archetype, the representative of the inner dimensions, the psychological aspect of Scorpio. So the archetype is that of the god of the underworld, of the hell realms, of death and rebirth. So Pluto really represents that what is in the darkness, underlying qualities. While Mars, as the ruler of Scorpio, is more the outer expression, the intense outer expression of Scorpio, which has a martial aspect, because Mars we also know as a ruler of Aries. So here we apply scorpionic qualities to our outer expression, how we do things, how we face life. The archetypal figures for Scorpio are described by the shaman, who carries the mystery and the healing for his tribe. The psychologist, who helps the individual to get to know themselves better and to achieve healing because of that. The detective, who is interested in the motive and the cause for any crime. And what all three of them have in common, they're interested in the underlying layers of symptoms or reality as it represents itself to us. And then we have the charismatic leader, the one who energetically is able to impact others and guide them. So if you have any planets in Scorpio, those planets represent where you're learning about truth and deep honesty. And of course, it always starts with our self-perception. And that's why the whole field of psychology, of inner psychology, dealing with our history and our trauma, stands in the middle for those planets. So when we're young and we all have experienced trauma and wounding through specific situations. So I believe we all have to do some inner world. We all have to get to know our inner world and those hidden emotions in order to not just react to life, but in order to be proactive and create life. So deep psychology and getting to know your own inner complexity really helps you to be more creative and successful and self-expressive in your life. So it also sharpens your intuitive side, the soul searching, the get to know yourself better helps you in relating to others in a different way. So also the Scorpio personality really has this emotional need for truth and honesty. So for example, if you have your moon and your horoscope in Scorpio, this is something you need to have in your relationship. You need to have somebody who is willing to go there with you and hold those inner aspects where most of us wouldn't like to take a look, wouldn't want to go. But with a Scorpio moon, there is an emotional need to face that. And because we all have the Scorpio full moon highlighted this month, it's a good chance to really take that deeper look at ourselves and see where we haven't been able to do that. Well, and with all that deep intensity, Scorpio has a huge shadow. And the shadow of Scorpio is the abuse of power and charisma. So here we find the dictator, the archetype of the wicked witch, the seducer. So the appliance of power and charisma for just personal, egoistic ends. Having said all that, this is a wonderful month to get a deeper and more honest connection with your inner emotions. And it's a wonderful month to do some inner healing work or get started onto some inner healing work, like with a therapist or doing a seminar of some kind. Another aspect of riding the wave with Scorpio, with this full moon, is a whole area of physical healing. So detoxification, just taking time for a deeper cleanse. So colon therapy. I have done a 10-day colon therapy retreat, which was very powerful. And coffee enemas is something you can do on a daily basis or once a week or however it works for you, and it will help to detox and clear out your liver. So older we get, so more interested we are in health and how to stay healthy. So this is a good month to rethink what it takes to stay healthy. So optimizing your diet with fermented foods, for example, which gives your colon the right bacteria. Exercise regularly. Find something that works, something you actually like doing. Sleep. Get plenty of restorative sleep. That's a big one. Many people out there in the rat race don't sleep enough, so the body doesn't have enough time to really cleanse and rejuvenate. So also have good stress bursting outlets. So jogging, doing something where you really have to push hard, where you really have to extend some energies. And an easy one is have your vitamin D level checked. I think 80% of all Americans are too low in vitamin D, and it's like magnesium, one of those miracle vitamins. If you don't have it, you really can't expect your body to perform well enough. So these are just some hints. I hope you look into that and take care for that temple of your body. So the high potential of Pluto we call the phoenix out of ashes. And this is what we're striving for this month, that in the area of your life where you feel ready to let go something of the old you don't need anymore, you can charge out of that into a new level, a new dimension of self-expression. So as an astrologer and gemstone lover, I want to give you the Opal as one of the Scorpio birthstones for this month, and a stone which is representing the mystic, the shaman, the artist, and the healer aspect we have in all of us. And it's a perfect stone supporting us during turbulent times of transition and intense changes. So it's a stone which can help you through deep, challenging times of transformation when you have to let something go and die, and so you can make it out the other end and become the phoenix out of ashes. So that's what the opal can do. And I'm gonna make a more in-depth video about opal, because it's a stone which is really wonderful and very special, coming into our world in all those different colors, relating to all these different chakras and doing all these different things depending on in which area we need that transformation. So for now, be guided by which opal representing this very individual personality you feel drawn to, and just take note, which chakra does it relate to, which aspect in your life needs that extra support of healing in consciousness. If you invite the universe into your life in its fullness, then I believe true magic can happen. And if you have been following my forecasts for a while, you have already learned a lot about astrology, about one sign at a time. For those of you who want to take it to a deeper place and want to learn more, to understand about yourself better, or to become an astrologer, I want you to know I'm offering astrology classes for beginners and intermediate people. So if you're interested, send me an email and I let you know when the next classes are starting. If you haven't done so, please sign up for your subscription if you like my forecasts astrology. And if you like what I did, please like it and share it with your friends. And I have a little gift for you. If you go to my website, you can sign up for my newsletter there, and you get a free report for your love stone, which is based on the Venus position in your birth chart, and you get your birth chart. So that's a good starting point to get more specific with your own learning about astrology. Again, this is how you can reach me. I'm living in Hawaii, so my phone number is 808-878-8182, or you can go to my website, mauiastrologyreading.com. So if you're interested in a personal reading, that's how you can reach me. I have been doing astrology for 35 years, so I have a lot of experience, and I really, really love to do this work because I see again and again how much of a difference it can make in somebody's life to have that kind of high wisdom and evolutionary perspective. So call me and we can do our reading through Skype online, and you can come visit me here on Maui. So as we say here, aloha, and thank you for visiting, and I see you soon.